The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, some interesting women's boxing news. Claressa Shields. Shout out to Claressa Shields. I haven't seen Claressa or talked to her in quite some time, but you know what? I've always got along with her. I've had no problems with Claressa Shields. She's considered a friend of the channel to me. Claressa Shields, it's been reported that she has signed a deal with PFL to cross over for MMA fights, okay? They're saying that she's still going to box. She's got to fight against the very talented, undefeated Marie-Eve Dinclair, who most notable win, I think, on the resume, she beat Michaela Lauren. Good boxer. She don't got no power. She's like 17-0 with no knockouts, but she can box, though. She's pretty good. So that fight will take place in January, February, they were saying. And then her MMA debut in the PFL is going to be April 23rd. That's the expected date. Now, I find this interesting because, I was just, shout out to Ring IQ Boxing Talk, Julius. I was literally just watching Julius today, and Julius was interviewing Heather Hardy. And Heather Hardy was doing a lot of complaining about women's boxing equality, wage gap, the typical feminist propaganda that sometimes we hear from the world that leaks into women's boxing that actually winds up hurting the women's fighters, but they don't want to acknowledge it because they had this chip on the shoulder to prove themselves that they don't realize the gravity of what they're saying and how it's going to push their base away from supporting them or giving them attention. But that's neither here nor there. That's just me pointing something out. What do I make of Claressa Shields in MMA? Listen, I know from talking, because I have a couple of friends who are female fighters, and they've voiced their displeasures and their their frustrations about how they can't seem to get ahead in women's boxing. And I'm not talking about the ones that go out there and spew feminist propaganda. I'm talking about the female fighters that actually are great fighters and don't do that and are humble and they market themselves well and they speak well and they can fight their ass off. They've spoken to me and they've said, listen, BT, we aren't getting the chances that we're not getting the chances to succeed. We're doing our best, we're putting our best foot forward, but it's just not happening for us. So a lot of women's fighters, we've seen this before. Amanda Serrano, she had an MMA fight once, didn't work out for her. She came out to boxing. They're doing whatever they can to make money. Heather Hardy went to MMA. A lot of these women have jobs. We've seen it before. Heather Hardy, she has a job. So it's a tough grind. It's a rough grind. Claressa Shields is obviously doing a lot better than a lot of the women's fighters in terms of financially speaking and where she's at in her life. But she's still not she's not out here. I don't think she's balling. I think she'd probably be the first to tell you that she's not balling the way she thinks she should based on what she's accomplished in her career. So, hey, this is something that she feels she needed to do for herself. So I can't knock it. I can't knock it. It is my greatest wish and my greatest prayer that she be successful and that she not get hurt too badly in MMA, because MMA is brutal. It is a different sport, and when she goes there, all the grapplers are gonna try to take her down, and she's gonna have to have the answers for that. So we'll see how it goes, man. Claressa Shields isn't a stranger to MMA though. She's someone that in the past I know she sparred with Chris Cyborg in preparation for a couple of her fights. So I'm sure maybe Chris Cyborg might have taught her something. Chris Cyborg is talent, obviously a great MMA fighter. So maybe she might have picked up a thing or two along the way. But she's making an MMA debut. They're saying it's April 23rd. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will probably tune into it just to see how Claressa Shields fares, because Claressa Shields is hell of a boxer. But to see her in MMA would be something to watch, and I might even go live for that. If there's no fights on that day, I might even go live for that. So just giving you guys an early reminder that there might be a live fight reaction for that. But there's not anything surprising. Women's boxing is a tough grind. It's a tough business to make it in, and they're not really paid a whole lot even at the top. So sometimes these are the things that they feel they're forced to do to make ends meet. To channel their knowledge in one area of combat sports and take it to another arena and learn and become a more well-rounded combat sports athlete and try to see if they can parlay that into some sort of superstardom. So, shout out to Claressa Shields. I've seen a lot of people joking around recently that, instead of her going to MMA, why couldn't she just get a fight with Keith Thurman or Sean Porter or Triple G, since she said that she could beat them, you know? I'll tell you this. Triple G's fighting Camille Schmetta on December 18th. And no disrespect to Camille Schmetta, but like I'd rather see Triple G fight Claressa Shields on December 18th than Camille Schmetta. So I'm a bit disappointed that Claressa Shields didn't push for these fights, that these fighters, to get her in the ring with these fighters that she was saying she could be like Sean Porter and Keith Thurman and guys like that. But either way, I wish her success and safety for sure. And that's the news. Claressa Shields is joining the PFL. You know, she's doing a reverse Clay Collard. Clay Collard came from PFL to boxing. Claressa Shields is going from boxing to PFL, so she's doing the reverse Clay Collard. Shout out to her. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.